Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar for today. Today, we're going to be going through a really important and powerful topic, how to break through 20K per month this year. So, in the past 10 years, we've helped over 100 upper cervical practices break through $20,000 a month in collections and beyond. So whether you're new in practice or you've been stuck at 10 or $15,000 a month in collections for a while, we understand the challenges. We know what you need to do to break through to the next practice growth stage. We know the answers to the questions. We know what works and what doesn't. So today, what I'm going to do is save you tons of time and money. So let's get started. So I want to let you know that you're in the right place. What you're going to learn today is incredibly powerful. It's based on the past 10 years of working with multiple doctors who are in this stage and seeing what is necessary for them to break through to the next stage. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of good stuff today, including how to expand and train your mind so you can help more people in your community, how to develop habits of highly successful doctors, why starting a practice or continuing in practice without a CA is such a bad idea. And this will include what I learned from having to hire 6 CAs in my first 6 months in practice. We'll talk about how to brand yourself as the unique upper cervical specialist that you are, so patients will pay, stay, and refer. We're going to talk about how to avoid the biggest mistakes in digital advertising so you don't waste your money on ads. We'll talk about how to build social proof, get 24 video testimonials and 100 Google reviews every year. We'll talk about how to invest time instead of money to build a social media following on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and more. We're going to talk about how to get health practitioners in your community to refer patients to you every month, how to develop a powerful patient education system so you can generate consistent referrals, and how to train your team to be upper cervical chiropractic advocates. So let's dive right in. So today we're going to be focusing in on 4 keys to break through 20K per month. These 4 keys are mindset, habits, CA hiring and training, and new patients. Each of these are incredibly powerful. And I guarantee if you are at $10,000 or $15,000 a month, one or all 4 of these is an issue. And so we're going to be looking at this and we're going to be really diving in on each one of these to help you break through that 20K per month barrier. So the first key is mindset. Mindset matters. We talk extensively about this within our book, Upper Cervical Practice Mastery, which is, I highly recommend it. If you haven't picked it up yet, you can go to our website, uppercervicalmarketing.com. You can get the free digital copy right there. But it's a powerful book for wherever you are in practice, but especially if you're in this position of this initial practice growth stage. And in the book, we actually talk about 7 different mindsets that are crucial for you to have when it comes to building your practice. But today we're going to focus in on 3 that I think are the most important at this specific stage. And so we're going to talk about purpose, intentionality, and perseverance. You have to expand and train your mind in a different way. You have to think differently in order to go to a new level in your practice. So let's talk about the first one, purpose. Purpose is the driving force behind all top upper cervical doctors. BJ Palmer said this powerful quote. I think it's one of the best things he ever said. He said, "A man without a purpose can be distracted, but a man with a purpose cannot be stopped." Right? I'm going to say that again. A man without a purpose can be distracted, but a man with a purpose cannot be stopped. And that is so true. And I've seen this over and over and over. Men and women who are upper cervical chiropractors who have a powerful purpose, they can't be stopped. They continue to grow their practices, themselves, their teams. They are so focused that nothing can stop them. And so when it comes to you, Doc, where you are in practice, you have to really get crystal clear on your purpose. To determine your own purpose, you need to think through some important questions, such as, why did God put you on this earth, right? What were you designed to do? How can you make a powerful impact in your community? How can you leave a legacy, right? Starting to determine your own personal purpose will then help you to also create a practice mission, and it will help you to keep your mind focused on what's most important every day. Mark Twain said the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why, right? Why were you born? Why were you put here? What can you do? How can you make an impact in your community through your upper cervical practice? That is what a purpose is all about. Powerful mindset that must be in place if you're going to break through that 20K per month. The second one here is intentionality. Once your purpose is clear, the next characteristic is to focus in on having intentionality. Intentionality is being deliberate or purposive, meaning it's taking your purpose and applying your daily thought patterns and activities to deliberately live out your purpose. So when you have a clear purpose of what you are all about as a person and how that plays out in your practice, then you can be very focused and intentional on everything that happens within the practice. This is a great podcast. If you haven't, if you're not listening to the Upper Cervical Marketing Podcast, highly recommend you do. It's a free podcast available everywhere. Dr. Ed Gigliotti and I talked about intentionality in episode 44 of the podcast. And he talked about how his practice was struggling so much before he was able to define his purpose and become extremely intentional in his day-to-day thought patterns and communication. And that's what it's all about. You've got to get crystal clear on that purpose and then really think through how that applies to every interaction that you have every day. Jesus said, "For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." When your purpose is driving you and you're deliberate in your thought patterns, then your mouth will speak that which is in your heart. Purpose and intentionality consistently applied will lead to success. But in order to accomplish success, you must have perseverance. Success is a journey, right? It's something that you have to continue to work towards every day. And there's going to be tough days. There's going to be difficult days. There's going to be things that happen in your practice that are difficult to deal with. And perseverance, the mindset of having perseverance, is a crucial aspect of that. When I opened my practice in May of 2008, after my associateship, I was in a new city with no patients, and I was in a desperate situation. My wife is at home with 3 kids, aged 3.5 and under, and I had over $250,000 worth of debt. I had no idea how I was going to make my practice work. I don't recommend putting yourself in that situation, but for me, it lit a fire under me like nothing else could. I started every day on my knees, praying and crying out to God for help. By my 3rd month in practice, I collected $16,000 in cash in 1 month. I was an all cash practice. And I thought after that, I'd be just easy going, but boy, was I wrong. I continued to struggle and learn the hard way how to succeed in practice. So I want to help you to not have to work as hard as I had to break through that 20K per month level. But it was during those early years in practice that I had to learn the lessons of perseverance and persistence. After my injury in 2011, as you may or may not know, I had a mountain biking injury in 2011, broke my neck, was paralyzed, had a spinal cord injury, and continued to not be able to practice to this day as a result of that injury. But that forced me to really tap into this mindset of perseverance. I had to learn everything again. I had to be, I had to form a new purpose and have a new type of intentionality. The perseverance and persistence that I had applied in my practice, I had to now apply in my life and eventually into this agency where we serve upper cervical chiropractors. And, my story is consistent with many others, including Dr. Kurt Sherwood, who he discussed with me on episode 37 of the Upper Cervical Marketing Podcast. about how his success in practice came through consistent and persistent action and perseverance. And so this is a key mindset of perseverance, being able to persevere day by day by day through difficulties. So those are 3 crucial mindsets that you have to get powerfully within you, in your mind on a daily basis: your purpose, your intentionality, your perseverance, in order to break through that 20K per month. Let's move on to the second key. Key number 2 is habits. Specifically, we're going to talk about 5 habits. In the book, we talk about 10 habits that the top upper cervical doctors have. We're going to talk about 5 of those today that I think are the most important right now where you are. If you're in that level, that practice growth stage 1, where you have not broken through 20K per month yet. And it starts with being on time. Being on time means that when you come to your practice, you come prepared and you come early, right? You're not the last one to get there. You're the first one to get there. You're ready to see patients, right? You have prepared your body, your mind, your spirit. You're ready for that office to serve people well that day. This is the difference between showing up and adjusting your first patient 5 minutes after you've opened with your keys still in your pocket because you just walked in the door, versus getting there 45 minutes to an hour before you see your first patient and preparing your mind, your body, your heart, everything to get ready to serve and serve well. Be ready for your team when they get there. Be ready for your patients when they get there. That's what being on time is all about. It also means that you're staying on time throughout the day, that you are efficient in how you move throughout the day when it comes to interacting with patients. But being on time, if you can start with just being on time in the morning, that's a good place to start. It's a good habit to have to start moving in the right direction. Number 2 is body language. Thinking through how you carry yourself when it comes to your body language. Are you slumped over? Are you got your head down? Do you not make good eye contact with people? Do you project confidence? Do you project clarity and certainty? Is that what you are about? Do people see that in you when they talk with you? That is a key piece to being a good leader, which is a big part of being a successful upper cervical chiropractor. Is you need to lead people. You need to lead your team. You need to lead your patients. You need to lead your community. And so body language is a big part of that. Number 3 is energy. The habit of energy means that on a daily basis, regardless of how you feel, you get energized, you get excited, you get ready to serve. And as a business owner, you need to be the CEO of your business, not the chief executive officer, but the chief energy officer, meaning that every day you are driving the energy of your practice. You're encouraging other people to get energized and get focused and serve well. Number 4 is passion. As we talked about before, a mindset you have to have is purpose, and that purpose should drive you to be passionate about what you do. And so when you are serving out your purpose, when you're serving people within your community and you're doing high quality upper cervical chiropractic, you should be passionate about that. That needs to be a habit. Passion is a habit that you have, that you are fueled by on a daily basis. Number 5 is being coachable. Hopefully, if you're listening to this webinar, then you are coachable, meaning that you're going to take what I'm teaching you today and actually apply it, right? Because I can tell you exactly what you need to do to break through 20K per month, and you could not apply any of these things because you're not coachable. And so you have to be coachable. You have to be able to take in information and apply it. Not just take it in, but apply it, right? To not just be a hearer, but a doer, right? And so it's a key piece of being a successful upper cervical chiropractor is being coachable. So a really easy way to apply a lot of what I've just talked about within mindset and habits is to set up a habit of listening to one of our podcasts every day. Basically, set aside 30 minutes every day, whether it's while you're exercising or while you're driving or whatever, while you're analyzing films, where you're listening to one of our podcasts every day. And if you set up that habit where you're feeding your mind consistently, you will be changed. You will begin to start thinking differently and start acting differently and start being a different doctor. As Oliver Wendell Holmes said, a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. And when you're listening to successful upper cervical chiropractors all the time talk about how they're successful, it will help you to think like them and to act like them and to be more successful as well. And so go to uppercervicalmarketing.com/podcast and start listening to the podcast. Set a time to listen to it every day. You can listen to our podcast on any place where podcasts can be listened to. So whether it's iTunes or Spotify or wherever, you can find us. Just search Upper Cervical and you'll find the Upper Cervical Marketing Podcast. And so that's a really easy way to start developing better mindset and habits, is by just listening to the podcast every day. Key number 3 is hiring and training a CA. You know, as I mentioned, I had to hire 6 CAs in my first 6 months in practice. And what I learned from that experience was that you can and I learned from this quote from Craig Rochelle. I said, I learned that you can have control or you can have growth, but you can't have both, right? It may be easier to do it all yourself and have that control, but you're limiting your growth and your ability to help people within your community. As Andrew Carnegie says, teamwork is the ability to work together towards a common vision, the ability to direct individual accomplishments towards organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows people to attain uncommon results. And so hiring and training a CA is crucial. If you don't have a CA in your practice right now, doc, you've got to get a CA. It will make all the difference. You can't do this effectively alone. Every upper cervical practice should have at least one chiropractic assistant. So if you haven't hired a CA yet and you're at $10,000 a month or $15,000 a month or wherever, I highly, highly recommend you hire a CA. If you don't know how to do it, we've created an incredible course for you called CA Hiring and Training Made Easy for the upper cervical practice. And you can get that course over at the Upper Cervical Marketing website. I highly recommend getting a strategy session with us to see if it's right for you first. But as a practice owner, you have to learn everything you can about hiring ideal team players who are humble, hungry, and smart. And our course can help you do that. It's something that you've got to learn, doc. If you're going to break through 20K per month, you have to figure out how to hire and train CAs. It is a crucial piece, not only just breaking through this level of this stage of growth, but every stage going forward is you've got to figure out how to hire and train CAs and do it well. Number 4 is new patients. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this because as important as mindset, habits, and CA hiring and training is, I've seen it before where someone has a really good mindset and good habits. They have a CA in their practice and they're doing well with them, but they're at that maybe $15,000, $18,000 a month level. And it's really a new patient problem that they have to solve in order to break through that 20K. And so we're going to spend some time here, but I tell you, if you don't have the mindset, habits, and the CA hiring and training right, then you could throw as many new patients as possible at a practice and it's not going to work because you don't have the right systems in place to actually make it work. And so I highly recommend making sure that the mindset, habits, CA hiring and training are right first, but then we start to address that new patient problem. And we're going to talk about 3 main ways that you can address that at the level that you're at. which is patient education, having a patient education process specifically that leads to referrals, building a health practitioner referral network, and doing digital marketing smart, a smart digital marketing program. So the first thing that I highly recommend you do is go over to our website, uppercirclemarketing.com, and find the practice growth tools. You can see the link there on the screen. You can also just click on resources and look for practice growth tools. We got a bunch of them there. But the one that I highly recommend for you is our new patient phone call checklist. This is crucial because hopefully you do have a CA within the practice, but the CA is a key piece to the whole new patient process. If the new patient phone call is not right, nothing else will happen. Because at some point, that person is going to talk to your CA on the phone, that whether they're a referral or they're a lead from some sort of marketing you're doing, regardless, at some point, they're going to talk to your CA on the phone. And will they open the door to your practice, so to speak, or are they going to close that door during that call is huge, right? You have to know what to say, how to say it, what to follow, what are the key questions that that person should be asking when they are interacting with the new patient. And so that's what that new patient phone call checklist is going to help you with. It's going to give you a really clear picture. You can print it out, put it right at your front desk so that they can use that to get incredible results on new patient phone calls. And this is the beginning of that patient education process. A patient education process leading to referrals starts with a really great new patient phone call that ends in a booked appointment, right? A booked new patient appointment. Then from there, when they come into the practice, you as the doctor need to be able to do a consultation, an exam, do imaging, and then bring them back for a report of findings. Some doctors may do that all in one day. Most do it in 2 days, right? Consultation, exam, and imaging in 1 day. Do your analysis, everything, get your report ready, and then do it the next day, go over that report of findings. So if you're not doing that basic process of a new patient, meaning you're not doing a consult, you're not doing a good exam, maybe you're not doing imaging, or you're not doing a report of findings, then you're missing out on huge parts of the educational process. So having that consultation, exam, imaging, and report process for every new patient is crucial in order to generate referrals consistently. Also, the next step is making sure that you give every new patient who goes through the consultation, exam, and imaging and comes back for that report of findings a care plan. A care plan is basically just laying out what you expect for them when it comes to how many appointments that you would expect to need to see them during their initial stage of care, and when you're going to do progress exams, when you're going to do progress films, all those types of things. Having that all laid out, giving them the opportunity to pay for it, either right then or over time with payments, but giving them clear picture, a clear plan is crucial to the educational process because it will lead to them getting better results. If someone comes in visit by visit, they don't have any commitment to what they're doing or what you're doing for them. And so you're going to lose them. Most patients are going to leave the practice in about 6 visits if you don't do a care plan, because they either feel better or they don't, right? But we all know that in order to actually heal, you need more than 6 visits. You need time. You need continued systems in place so that you can get that patient to hold, right? Holding is healing, right? They have to learn that during the care plan, that you can get them in alignment and keep them there as long as possible so their body can actually heal. So things that have been damaged over the years can heal and get stronger and more stable. And so that's part of that educational process. And without a care plan, you can't really educate someone well. It doesn't give you the opportunity to do that. Another huge part of that patient education process is doing progress exams. I'm so surprised by so many doctors that I know that I talk to that don't do progress exams. And it's a crucial piece of the educational process because you have to be able to show someone where they were when they started and where they are now, and having the ability to give them a subjective form that they fill out that shows their results and the changes that they've seen in their body can be really powerful. Plus, it's a really important time to generate social proof and reviews and testimonials, which we'll talk about more later. And then lastly is just having a patient education system. And this is going to be different for different practices, but within many of our clients, they use flyers to talk about different conditions that upper cervical chiropractic can help people with those types of conditions. They'll use different classes that they have. A new patient orientation class is a really common one. A variety of things, brochures, posters on the walls, videos, all those kinds of things can all be good. And it's all part of that process of education that takes place during a care plan. Because really what you want, let's say you do a 90-day care plan. By the time that they get to 90 days, number one, they're going to be feeling a whole lot better, but hopefully they're going to have a whole different understanding of the importance of spinal alignment and posture and nerve function. And they're going to understand the detriment of subluxation and nerve interference and how that affects their body. And so it's a crucial piece to take them through that, have that educational system so that when they get to the end of their initial stage of care, they're ready to continue with lifetime care in your practice because they really understand how important the care that you're doing for them is. So that is a crucial one for generating referrals, is just having that process in place. Another big part of generating new patients consistently is to build a health practitioner referral network. Again, this is something that, in episode 40 of our podcast, I discussed this in detail with Dr. Giancarlo Licata, and he talked about how they've built this health practitioner referral network that just was tremendous and just was a really powerful generator of new patients for their practice. And really as I've studied this over the years, you need to be able to host a meeting either in your front lobby or in a different place, either at a community center or whatever, where you can get 10 to 15 health practitioners together in one room consistently. And so that's the first thing is, figuring out where you can do that. Where can you get 10 to 15 people together in a room? Is it in your building? Is it in your practice? Or is it in like I said, a community center or some other room that you're able to rent once a month? And then from there, you want to write a list of 10 health practitioners in your community. Just goes through and start Googling, look for, doctors who do different things, whether it's naturopaths or acupuncturists or, physical therapists who work with vestibular patients or, TMJ specialists or, whatever. We have a whole list of it, and I'll show you a blog post later where you can get that whole list. And then really you just want to reach out to them and just introduce yourself and say, hey, you know what? I'd love to come by your practice, learn more about what you do so I can see if it would make sense for me to refer patients to you. And then when you go by there, you just want to ask yourself as you interact with that practitioner, does this person really want to get to know me? Do they want to interact with me? Or are they just going through the motions, right? It's all about building friendships, really. It has to start with a relationship. And then you can begin to tentatively plan with them and set expectations. And so you want to say something like this. So once you meet them, you're talking with them, you're having a good conversation with them, saying something like, you know what, we're doing a study group, or you can call it a provider night, whatever you'd like to call it. We're going to be doing this group once a month. It's a way for us to build relationships, but it's not networking. Networking's like, stepping into a pool of piranhas. Everyone wants to eat each other. Nobody wants to give. Everybody just wants to take. This is instead going to be designed for collaboration. It's going to be designed on relationship building that's longer term, and it's going to be built upon creativity. It'll be the first Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. at my office. Would you be interested in coming? Right? So certain people are going to they're going to love that. They're going to resonate with that. Others just aren't going to have the time or the energy for it. But the key is starting to build this group of people who are going to come to the first event, right? And each month, as you continue to interact with people, you want to invite more of them, right? So the first month, you go out, meet 10, invite 10 for the event that's going to start. That's going to be the following month on the Tuesday. And then next month, you go out and you meet 10 more, right? And you want to get the same thing. You want to start to create this diversity of people within your community who are coming in and out at different seasons and are staying connected. And as you start to get people to come to this kind of an event, you want to refer to them, if you can, as quickly as possible, right? So you want to keep them in the top of your mind during that month and refer people to them. It's the way you can get them excited about the group and excited about being part of it. And I highly recommend going to this link right here if you'd like to pursue this strategy. You can take a screenshot of that link there, or go to that link. It's a blog post where I break down this in much more detail of how to do the building a health practitioner referral network. Next, let's talk about branding. And this is a big part of the upper cervical practice, is branding yourself as a unique upper cervical specialist. And this is something that we've done for our clients for the past 10 years. I mean, we are upper cervical marketing, right? We're the UCM. And this is all we do, is we work with upper cervical practices. And so we get this. We understand how to do this. We understand how to do it really, really well. It's been something that we've been great at for many years. And what we found is, everything matters when it comes to your online communication. Your practice name is part of the subconscious communication online. So is your website. So is your social media. So is your logo, your color scheme, your social proof factors. All of these things matter. And so all of your branding should represent your unique upper cervical approach and be congruent to who you are and who your practice is, right? According to some studies, you only have about 50 milliseconds to make a first impression online. So it's crucial that everything is set up in such a way that it is going to give that person the right impression. And so one of the things to look at when it comes to your branding is your color scheme. When it comes to upper cervical chiropractic, your logos, your website, your office decor, even your other, marketing collateral, brochures, business cards, all that kind of stuff. There's 4 colors that tend to be the most effective when focusing on the most common demographic, which is a 45-year-old Caucasian female. And that's blues, yellows, greens, and purples, right? So pretty much every upper cervical practice in the world should have some combination of blues, yellows, greens, and purples when it comes to their color scheme. And, when we're looking at how to do all this stuff, all of this related to your website and your Google listing and your logo and building your social media pages, designing your business cards, all of that, if you don't already have all of that done for your practice, if you're brand new in practice or you just have never gotten around to it, I highly recommend our Start Right program. It's a really great program. It's very basic, of everything that you need all in one place. It's a package that you can't find it. First of all, you can't find it from anybody else that specializes in upper cervical, because we're the only ones that offers this type of thing. And also it's a great value. You're going to save tons of money because we bundled everything together for you. So again, if you get a free strategy session over at uppercervicalmarketing.com, you can talk with our team about the Start Right program, which is a really, really good program for this. Let's talk more about digital marketing. And, one of the things that we've done a ton of over the years is Facebook ads. We've ran Facebook ads in all sorts of markets. We've spent millions and millions of dollars on Facebook ads. And I'll tell you that the biggest mistake we see for doctors who are at $10,000, $15,000 a month is they're trying to do Facebook ads. They're wasting money on Facebook ads. And I'll tell you, it's just not a good use of your time, doc, to try to figure out how to do Facebook ads at that level, because there's so many other things you could be doing, like meeting with health practitioners and building a health practitioner referral network, or focusing on training your staff, or focusing on your mindset and habits and your communication, and focusing on your patient education system, like all these things we've already talked about, rather than spending your time and energy and your mindset and your mind power on, well, let me figure out how to make Facebook ads work. I'll tell you, Facebook ads are not easy. They are not easy. They are something that is, we have teams of people within our agency who just focus on Facebook ads. That's all they do all day long. It's their whole job. And so when you're at less than $20,000 a month, I wouldn't worry about Facebook ads at all. In fact, like, even if you came and worked with us in our agency and you were at that level, $10,000, $15,000 a month, we would tell you, we're not going to do Facebook ads for you. We have a specific system for someone in practice growth stage 1, which is where you're at. And it does not include Facebook ads, because we found that it's just not an effective strategy at that level with the budget you have available to you and all that type of thing. And so there's so many other things we can do to help you, but Facebook ads is really not ideal for you. And so I just stay away from it if I was you. So what do you do when it comes to digital marketing? Well, instead, spend time recording videos, right? Record short doctor videos, frequently asked question videos, condition specific videos, your story type videos, upper cervical specific videos, and record video testimonials. Focus on the before and after state. What was life like before they came into your practice? What's life like after, right? If you get 2 a month, that's 24 a year. And you want to put them everywhere. Put them on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and more. This can help you tremendously as your practice grows. So then when you break through 20K per month and you come to talk with us and you say, hey, I'd love to go to the next level, we're going to say, oh, great. Do you have any videos? And you're going to say, yeah, I got a bunch of videos. I've been recording videos for a while. Awesome. We'll put them to good use and get you a bunch of new patients from those videos now, right? So videos is something that you can never have too many of. You always want to be recording videos. It's a crucial part of marketing and really practice in today's digital world. So let's talk more about social proof. I talked about, that try to get 24 video testimonials and 100 Google reviews every year is a great goal. And really how to do that is you got to get 2 video testimonials every month, and you got to get 2 Google reviews every week, right? Which is completely doable. It's something that can certainly be done and done effectively. And so how do you do that though? Well, the first thing is you got to communicate the why behind why you capture success stories to your team and your patients consistently every day. So this goes back to your purpose. It goes back to your passion. It goes back to why you do what you do. And if why you do what you do is to bring hope and healing to sick and suffering people within your community, then it only makes sense that if you help somebody do that, if you get somebody who is sick and suffering and you bring them to a place of hope and healing, then you want to capture that story. You want that person to tell other people what has happened to them, how they have been changed, what has transpired in their life. And so getting them to leave you a Google review, getting them to do a video testimonial, it only makes sense because that's what you're trying to do. And so when you accomplish that, it should be communicated and it should be celebrated within your practice and ultimately online so other people can get the help that they need as well. So another big one is to do a morning huddle meeting, right? So we talked about making sure you're on time. If you're on time, then you're there when your staff shows up, and then you can do a short 5-minute meeting at the beginning of every day where you look at the schedule together and you talk about who's going to be in that day. And you look at the people who are coming in and you plan to ask them for a Google review. You ask them for a video testimonial. You know those patients who are getting phenomenal results and they've never shared their success story. And so you develop that culture of, you know what, we're going to ask, we're going to talk to people about this, and we're going to capture these stories. And then once we're doing that, we're going to celebrate that in our weekly team meeting. Every week, every upper cervical practice should be doing a team meeting with everyone who works there at least once a week. And in those meetings, you want to read those new Google reviews, and you want to watch those new video testimonials, and you want to celebrate the results, because that helps to remind you of your purpose. That helps to remind your team of the mission of the practice. And it helps you all to celebrate what is happening with patients, which is what it's all about. So if you develop a culture, doc, that is focused around getting Google reviews and video testimonials consistently, it's going to make a tremendous difference in your practice, not just with social proof, not just with having all of this online, but in every possible way, because it fuels you. It makes you excited. It gives you more passion behind what you're doing. It makes your team more excited, and it helps your patients to tell their story. And when they tell their story, they will tell other people more their story as well, which will lead to more referrals and so many other good things for you. So, doc, today we've talked about mindset. We've talked about habits. We've talked about CA hiring and training. We talked about new patients. These are the 4 keys to break through 20K per month. If you consistently apply this, I can almost guarantee you will break through 20K per month. And I'll tell you what else we want to help you. If you are in this stage and you know what, I need somebody to help me. I need some accountability. I need some more structure. I need somebody to really just, walk me through some of this stuff. We want to save you time and money. Our book is a great place to start, but we've got so many other things to help you. And it all starts with that free practice strategy session. Go to uppercervicalmarketing.com, click on the growth stage you're in, and get that strategy session from us. We can talk to you about UCM practice growth systems, about practice growth sessions, CA hiring and training made easy. All of these are tools, services, products to help you where you're at and help you to break through 20K per month this year. All right. So thank you so much, Doc, for your time today. Thank you for being on this webinar, and go team Upper Cervical.